What is the perfect motorcycle? Everyone has their own conception of one, but to most adventure riders, the perfect motorcycle looks something like this. Enough power to cruise the highway on a trip across the continent, enough lightness and off-road ability to shred any trail you come across. Oh, and if you want to pop into a rally race on the weekend, it'll do that too. Serious ADV riders have been asking the major motorcycle manufacturers to make us one of these for years, and make it affordable. And yet, our pleas have gone unanswered. And now along comes this bike. And man, looking at this video makes my knees buckle. What is this bike and where can you get one? Stay tuned for the details, and if you're enjoying the content, please subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who would be interested. Alright, yes, I'm aware that KTM makes the 690 Enduro and Husky 701, and yes, I'm aware that those bikes have lengthy service intervals. But they're both expensive, and turning them into a proper rally bike with the necessary wind protection and range would be more expensive still. The KLR 650 is too heavy, the DR 650, DRZ 400 and XR 650 undergeared and ancient. You can't update those bikes because they're already not meeting emissions regulations, and even in places where they are still available, they're grandfathered in, but not allowed to be changed. What about my wife's CRF 300L Rally that I'm riding in this video? It's close but needs more horsepower and better suspension. Royal Enfield is rumored to be bringing a 40 horsepower 450cc Himalayan to market soon, but that bike is not here yet and we don't have the specs or the price, so we'll hold off on speculation about it for the time being. But this bike, and man does it look legit, is coming to the United States in 2023, and on the surface it looks like the motorcycle ADV riders have been pining for. So what is it? Kove is a Chinese motorcycle builder that builds several different road and off-road models around a variety of engines. Some of these motorcycles look pretty good, but the two 450cc rally bikes are the ones that got my attention. These bikes are going to be imported into the United States by a dealer named GPX Moto in Utah. You can put down $1,000 to order yours today and hopefully take delivery of your bike in July, though the dealer specifically states that due to supply chain issues, that timeline is not guaranteed. Specs? There are 3 bikes available for 2 different prices. For $9,000 you can get a regular rally model available in 2 seat heights. These bikes have liquid-cooled, fuel-injected, single-cylinder 450cc motors which are said to churn out 51 horsepower and 29.5 pound-feet of torque. Pretty incredible numbers. They are listed as weighing 145 kilograms on the manufacturer's website without fuel, which equals 320 pounds. Now I'm not sure if that weight is without fuel only or without any fluids at all. Either way, the weight figure is pretty impressive. The suspensions on the $9,000 bikes give you 2 options. The low seat model lists 10 inches of travel on both ends, although the numbers on the Chinese website are different, and 10.6 inches of ground clearance with a 36-inch seat height. The taller model is listed as having 12 inches of travel at both ends with 12 inches of ground clearance and a seat height just a tick under 38 inches. So these are for either experienced or very tall riders. If you play in the NBA and feel that motorcycle seats are generally too low, you've found your bike. No details about the quality of the shocks, but they are fully adjustable. Those specs are crazy impressive for $9,000 motorcycles, but for $14,000 you can get the Rally Pro, which is pretty much ready to race Baja out of the box. This bike has 54 horsepower and 31 pound-feet of torque, the 38-inch seat, and adds a road book with a carbon fiber tower, a steering stabilizer, and foam inner tubes. According to the dealer, these bikes can hold a monstrous 32 liters of fuel, while according to the manufacturer website, only the Rally Pro has that size tank, while the regular models hold 15 liters. Service intervals on these bikes are listed at 5,000 miles, but if you're going to race them all out, you'll want to make that 2,000. Additionally, the first batch of bikes will be listed as off-road only, though the dealer says that they will be certified for road use shortly after. If, like me, you would use this bike for your travels rather than for all-out desert racing, you should know that there is no guarantee that you will be able to blue plate these motorcycles. So there are some good aspects of these bikes and some areas of concern. The prices are awesome for what you get. Also, the claimed power and suspension performance is excellent and looks excellent in the video. However, there are some red flags because these bikes are coming from China. The manufacturer's website contains grammatical errors and poor visual quality. The specs on the manufacturer's and dealer's sites don't always agree. These are not in themselves deal breakers, but a low quality website raises questions about the quality of the product. Reliability is always going to be a question with a Chinese-made machine. The importer states that the engine has been used in other manufacturers' motorcycles for 5 years, but we don't know which manufacturers or whether those motorcycles are reliable. Could it be KTM? At 450cc and 51 or more horsepower, that motor is pretty hot-rodded, so my guess is that it won't last as long as an under-stress motor from one of the Japanese Big Four. And 5,000 mile service intervals with those horsepower numbers seem sus. Also, the fact that the bike is not guaranteed to be street legal is a concern for would-be world travelers. So although on the surface this motorcycle seems to be everything adventure riders want, the unknowns are a larger risk than if it was produced by Honda or Yamaha. Which brings me to my main point. Why have these companies not offered a bike like this yet? It doesn't have to be a Dakar winner, just a competent motorcycle with relatively light weight, longer service intervals, and decent suspension and power. I don't even need the 50 horses, I'll settle for 45 or 40. Just enough to comfortably cruise at 80 miles per hour or 130 kilometers per hour. One of the Japanese manufacturers could build two versions of this bike, a sub $12,000 everyman version with an accessible seat height and a decent range, and a $20,000 racer with a nav tower and full-on race suspension for those who like riding their dirt in Baja at 100 miles per hour. Boom, they'd sell them out for the next 5 years. They have the dirt bike knowledge and expertise, and the market is ready. Please just give the customers what they want, to cruise the highway over to the dirt, tackle most trails, then cruise back. I have to be honest, if I was ever to trade in my Tenere 700, it would be for a bike like this. A Japanese bike like this. As for the Kove, I hope they're good bikes and that customers are happy. I'm not going to recommend them because I don't know enough about them, but man, they look awesome in the video. Utah with its endless off-road trails is the perfect place for this kind of motorcycle. If you buy these, you're taking a chance on an unknown quantity, but if it works out, you'll have a great ride. Do your research though, because if it doesn't work out, you might be stuck with a very expensive paperweight. I always cheer on entrepreneurship and wish the company and the importer well. At the very least, here is a very inexpensive motorcycle you can take rally racing, a rare find. So I won't be buying one yet, but if one of the big four knocks one out, I'll find it hard to resist. A sub 370 pound adventure bike that can tackle trails like a dirt bike, or at least close, is indeed the unicorn we've been waiting for. I wouldn't race it, but it would be cool to explore the seriously gnarly trails on a bike like this. That's honestly my favorite kind of riding. What about you? Has Kove piqued your interest, or are you waiting for the big four to finally wake up and bring a bike like this to the market? How much would you pay for the unicorn? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below, and happy trails!